Good afternoon, everyone. Today we shall see lab program number 8, that is Kruskal's algorithm. So here you need to find out minimum cost spanning tree using Kruskal algorithm. Uh, just like Prim's algorithm lab program, this is also a very simple lab program. So that is find minimum cost spanning tree using Kruskal algorithm for undirected graph. So this is our graph. For this graph, you need to find out minimum cost spanning tree. So if I ask you to apply Kruskal algorithm for this graph, you all know how Kruskal algorithm works. In the entire graph, first what it will do is it will in the entire graph it will find out the minimum cost edge. That is what Kruskal will do in the beginning. So this is the minimum cost edge. First, it will select this set into the spanning tree. See, ultimately, we need to create the spanning tree. So this is the first edge that will be selected. Okay, B to D, 2 to 3, edge vertex from 2 to 3. That is B to D, 2 to 4, which has got minimum cost, that is 2. Then again, algorithm will search the entire graph for the next minimum cost edge, which is nothing but cost is 3, that is A to B. So this edge. Okay. In the first iteration, Kruskal will pick this edge with cost 2. In the second iteration, it will pick the edge with cost 3. And in the third iteration, what it will do? It will select this edge. And in the fourth iteration, it will select this edge. So that is the spanning tree. Its cost will be 5, 9, 13. So minimum cost spanning tree A to B, B to D, B to C, and D to E. So in Prims also we have applied the same graph. There also you got the total cost was 13 itself. So here also if you apply the algorithm for the same graph, it has to select these edges and its cost should be 30. Okay. We shall run the program, give this input, and we shall see how much we are going to get. What is the output we are going to see? Already program is here. I'll just run the program. How many vertices are there? 5 vertices are there. Number of vertices. Okay, 5. Enter the okay. I'm entering adjacency matrix for that given graph. See, now I will not explain what is the adjacency matrix, all these things. Okay. See, one statement I'm printing. So spanning tree 2 to 4 to 1 to 4, 1 to 2. Okay. This count, you don't worry. Like for tracing purpose, I have kept that count. 2 to 4 is cost is 2. 1 to 2 is 3. 2 to 3 is 4. 4 to 5 is 4. So totally minimum cost what we got is 13. Okay, 13 is the minimum cost. So we have got the same expected output in this algorithm also. So algorithm is again it's very simple. See, if you have compared, if someone has compared merge sort and quick sort, program structure almost we have kept the same. Okay, if you understand, if you write the program for merge sort, it will be easy for you to follow the quick sort. That is how we have kept the structure. It was very simple. Similarly, prims, whatever structure we have followed for prims algorithm, same programming structure we have kept here. So when you see this, you can easily remember the steps, easily remember the instructions. So this is the main program. There is a class called as Kruskal FN. Okay, in that class, all the functions are defined. Okay, so we have created an object KS. There we are reading the matrix. Okay, read function is there, which is defined in that function Kruskal FN. And spanning tree only message we are displaying here. And then we are calling a function solve Kruskal. Okay, so this function is defined in this class Kruskal FN. So this solve Kruskal is the function which will perform all the computation. Actual algorithm implementation is done within this function. So this function I will explain in detail. So read function, you all know. We have taken an object S. With the help of it, you will read n value. Okay, integer by n value, number of vertices you will read. And then you'll create a matrix C to store the input graph, two-dimensional matrix. Okay, with the dimensions n+1, n+1. And then two for loops are taken because you're storing the values into two-dimensional array, and we'll start storing it from the index 1. Again, why index 1? I explained in the previous lab itself while explaining for prims. We are not starting with the index 0. We are starting our matrix with the index 1. Row value 1 as well as column value also 1. From 1, we are inserting the elements. Okay, C of 0, 0, it's not 0, 0, C of 1, 1. From there, we are going to insert the elements into the matrix C. See, we have not used first row and first column values to store the elements. Okay, we are doing it from 1, 1. Okay, only purpose for this is to understand for better readability, we have done that. So that is the program. Solve Kruskal function, I will explain. So this is the matrix for this graph. By this time, you should know like how to write the adjacency matrix for the given for any given graph. Okay, 0, 0 means there is no node from A to A. All those rows, this diagonally it will be 0. 99 means 999 means there is no connectivity between A and C and A and E. So I will take a simple graph. For this graph, we shall write adjacency matrix. And for this graph, we have to find out the minimum spanning tree using Kruskal algorithm. By just seeing the graph itself, you can easily tell what will be the adjacency matrix, what will be the minimum cost spanning tree, that is A to B, B to D, and C to D. These three edges have got minimum cost. So this will be the spanning tree output for this given graph. Okay, we shall trace the program for this particular graph. Nodes, instead of A, B, C, D, we will take it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nodes 1, 2, 3, 4. Distance between 1 and 2 is 5. 2 to 4 is 6. And this is the node 3. 3 to 4 is 2. So this is the output we should get. This is the spanning tree. 13. Total cost should be 13. So this output we should get. See, read function and all I have explained already. Main program read function is not there. We shall straight away start with that solve Kruskal function. So we are calling solve Kruskal function. C is the matrix where we have stored these adjacency values of the graph. Okay, it is present in the C matrix. And we have taken a lot of variables, initialized it to 0. Okay, and there is one more variable called as parent. All of you observe carefully. Like I have a lot of questions. I will ask questions. You people must answer it. Okay, since it is very simple program and it is the repetition of almost everything, whatever is there in prims, same things are repeated here. So minimum value, I have initialized it to 999. We will be starting, okay, one while condition we have taken, count not equal to n plus 1. So until this condition is true, these statements will be executed. Okay, while ends here, while loop ends at this point. So till then it will be executed until while condition fails. Now count value is 0. So 0 is not equal to n plus 1. Obviously it is true. So we will enter the while loop. Minimum value we have initialized it to 9999. For loop, nowhere we are starting for loop with 0. Okay, I is equal to 1. I less than or equal to n. So as I said, first row and first column we have not used it. So we will be starting with 1 comma 1 index. For I is equal to 1, for j is equal to 1. And then you are going to check this condition. Okay. So what is that condition you are checking? See, I have the matrix C. C of 1 comma 1 is this location, 1 comma 2 is this location, 1 comma 3 and 1 comma 4. If you come here, C of 2 comma 1. See, what is the basic of Kruskal algorithm? How does it work? In the entire graph, first thing it will do is it will fetch the edge with minimum cost. Okay, with minimum cost. But what we are doing is we are going in an order. First, I will check this row, second row, third row, and fourth row. See, before you select one edge, that is first we are going to pick this edge itself. That is C to D is nothing but 3 to 4. This is the minimum cost edge. We are going to select this edge. Okay, immediately we'll not get this edge. We'll go on checking row by column by value by value. We'll find out which one is the minimum value that we will select. So for loop, it will run, see, this many number of times. Okay, 8 times it will run this for loop. So now we are in inner for loop. I value and j value are 1 comma 1. C of 1 comma 1 less than minimum. Minimum value is 9999. C of I 1 comma 1, it is nothing but 0. Okay, is it less than minimum? Yes, this is correct. It is less than minimum. And here one more condition has been put. I should not be equal to j. Why this condition I should not be equal to j? Because see, when I and j are equal, that is these diagonal values 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3, 4 comma 4. I am not interested in these values because they are indicate the loop. So if this condition is true, we'll not enter this if condition itself. Okay, if they are not equal, then only this condition becomes true. Okay, and is there. Okay, this element value should be less than minimum and I and j should not be equal. So for this element, we are not going to enter this if loop. Is it clear? For this, in the first row, for the first element, will not enter the if condition because I and j are equal. That is, for 1 comma 1 also will not go, 2 comma 2 will not do, 3 comma 3 or 4 comma 4. These values immediately in this if condition itself, they are rejected. Okay, those values, 0 means there is no, it indicates loop. So we are not considering loop. So those things are discarded here. Okay, so this element is not selected. Next, 1 comma 2. 1 comma 2 minimum value is 5. So this condition is true. C of 1 comma 2 less than minimum. Yes, this condition is true. I not equal to j. This condition is also true. So minimum will become 5. Minimum will become 5. Next, 7 is greater than 5. So minimum will stay 5 itself. Then 999 is also greater. Again, it will check for next row. It is 5. So 5 is not less than 5. Okay. 999. It is not less than 5. 6. That's also not less than 5. And we'll go for third row. 7 is not less than 5. See, minimum element we have got here. That is 5. Still, I'm checking whether any other elements are less than 5 or not. Okay, 7 is not less than 5. 999 not less than 5. But when we come to true, 2 is less than 5. Okay, 2 is less than 5. So again, this condition becomes true. Now minimum value what we got is, so minimum value is 2. Okay, 2 is the minimum value which we got. When you got, when this has become true, I value is 3, j value is 4. Okay, so u is equal to a is equal to I value is 3, b is equal to j. Okay, 3 and 4. That is I value 3, row, column value 4, 3 comma 4. C of 3 comma 4, there is a value 2, which is less than minimum 5. Earlier minimum was 5, so 2 is less than 5. So now we will select that one. After getting 2 also, it will scan next row as well. In the next row, there are no elements which is less than 2. So this is the final value which we have got after iterating first time through these 2 for loops. When you iterate through these 2 for loops for the first time, this is the value we got in the first set of iteration. Okay, in the first set of iteration, in this matrix, so algorithm has found out there is a cost 2, that is there is an edge between 3 and 4 which has got the cost 2, least cost. In the first iteration, it has found out this is the least cost. So this while loop will not be executed. Parent of u is 3. Parent of u is not equal to 0. This is not executed. Even this will not be executed. Okay. No, this will be executed. Okay. Parent of u is 3, not equal to 0. Earlier, everything is equal, initialized to 0. This is not equal to 0. So u is equal to parent of u. See, this is not executed. Okay, sorry. These 2 whiles are not executed. Next, we'll come here. If u not equal to v, okay, these 2 are not equal. Okay, these 2 conditions are not equal. Then print a to b. A to b is a is nothing but 3, b is nothing but 4. Okay, 3 to b is equal to, that is the minimum cost. Spanning tree, first stage we have selected 3 to 4. So this is the first stage we have selected. A to B is, that is, it will print 3 to 4. That is the edge we have selected first for our spanning tree, and its cost is 2. And then we'll change parent of V. Okay, parent of V is nothing but 4. Okay, parent of 4 is equal to U. See, C is the parent of D. That is what we have done. Parent of 4 is nothing but C. We are going to 4 from C. Okay, that we have initialized, and minimum cost is equal to, it was initialized to 0. 2 will be added to the minimum cost. And then see, these 2 rows are already part of the spanning tree. So we don't need them in the next iteration. What we have to do, C of A comma B. A comma B is nothing but 3 comma 4. C of 3 4, C of 4 3 is equal to 999. We will insert 999 in both these locations. Count is equal to 1. Okay, count plus plus is there. Count will increment to 1. Is it clear? Have you understood? Count will be incremented to 1. Okay, so that is first iteration, first state we have selected in this graph. Next, as I said, this will become 999. Okay, again, while count not equal to n plus 1. This condition is false because count value is 1, n plus 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. They two are not equal. We'll start the iterations again. So anyhow, these zeros are not considered. First, it will start the iteration. It will start from 5. First, it will select 5 as minimum. And then it will start comparing 5 with the other elements present in the matrix. So we can observe it will go through all the matrix, but minimum value is 5 itself. So when you get 5 as minimum value, when I value is 1 and j value is 2. Okay, I value is 1 and j value is 2. C of 1 comma 2. At that point, you'll get minimum value 5. And then we'll go here, u is not equal to v. Spanning tree, a value is 1, b value is 2. A to b, 1 to 2, its cost is 5. So it has selected this edge and then it has selected this edge into our spanning tree. Okay, edge with least cost and then edge with next level of cost. So parent of v, here v is 2. So parent of 2 is 1. That will is before earlier parent of 4 was 3. Here parent of 2 is 1. And minimum cost will increment. And these two location 1 to 2 and 2 to 1, it's already part of the spanning tree. These values are not required for next iteration. So we'll update it to 9999. Okay, C of 1 to 2, 2 to 1, we'll update it to 999. Is it clear? We'll update it to 999 and count will increment to 2. Count is incremented by 1. Is it clear? So after second round of iteration, matrix will become like this. Okay, this also became 999. This also become 999. Count is now 2. Count value is 2, while 2 not equal to n plus 1. Okay, yes, now also this condition is true. 2 not equal to n plus 1. So this condition is true. Minimum is equal to. Again, we'll go through one more iteration now. So first it will select 7 as minimum. Okay, while going through the first row, it will select 7 as minimum. But when we come to second row, it will see there is one more element which is less than 7, that is 6. Okay, when you are iterating through the second row, see for loop, I'm talking about for loop. First it will scan first row, there it will pick 7 as minimum element, and then it will be going through the second row, then it will select 6 as the minimum element. Okay, when 6 is the minimum element, I value is 2, j value is 4. Okay, minimum element is 6, I value is 2, j value is 4. So u value is 2, v value is 4. Minimum element is 6. Again, u not equal to v, this condition is true. And a to b, that is a to b is 2 to 4. See, 2 to 4, this edge. 2 to 4 will print the spanning tree. Earlier we got 3 to 4, 1 to 2. Now we got 2 to 4. That is the cost 6 with the minimum cost. Okay. And parent will get parent of 4 is 2. So parent of 4 is 2. Parent of 4 is one more time we got 3. And parent of b is 1. Okay. So cost, total cost is, if you sum it up, 13 is the total cost for this graph. Okay, so now count will be 3. Okay, count value will be 3. Next question is, okay, whether for loop is executed one more time or algorithm will stop here. What will happen? Okay, all of you are listening. See, count value is just 3 now. And while condition we have given count not equal to n plus 1. So my question is whether while loop condition becomes true or false. Are you going to execute these instructions one more time, or are you going to stop here? See, already we got the spanning tree. See, our spanning tree we got. Easily you can identify this is the spanning tree which you were trying to find out. We got the spanning tree from this graph. Okay, spanning tree we got from this program also. Count value is only 3. But while condition you have given here, count not equal to n plus 1. Count value is 3. So my question is whether program should end here or it should continue. If it continues, what will happen? What will happen if it continues? Anyone? See, program should end here or not? After getting the minimum cost, see, spanning tree we already got. 4 vertices are there, 3 edges we have selected, that's it. So program should end here, right? Why it has not end? Count value is just 3. This is the while condition you have given here. So according to this condition, again these instructions will be executed. If you execute these instructions again, what will happen? So is there any mistakes in the program, or program is correct? See, either program should be wrong, or somewhere we have missed something. What is that? Okay, let's check. Okay, already I have typed the program here. Program is present here. Let's execute the program. See, I have not made any changes here. Same program is present here. Okay, same set of code. Everything is same. I will execute the same program for that matrix. And we shall see. Here also you can see here while condition is that itself, while count not equal to n plus 1. Same condition we have given here. And count plus plus we are doing here. So nothing has changed. Let's run the program and see for that graph whether we'll get the actual required output or not, desired output. So this is the matrix. So this is the matrix. And if you see the output is correct. Okay, 13 total cost is 13. Spanning tree, it has given the proper output 3 to 4, 1 to 2, and 2 to 4. So output is correct. Spanning tree also it has given correct. Minimum cost also it has given correct. Okay, so output we are getting properly. Then why program has not terminated? Any answers? See, if you execute it one more time, what will happen? Is it correct or not? Okay. This while loop, while condition, whatever we have given. See, obviously, you are getting the output properly. Okay. For that graph itself, in the same program, we got the output correctly. Whatever output we were expecting, we got that output itself. Okay. My question is, why we have given this condition? Okay. For this graph or for any other graph, why while loop has to execute more than that times. In the Prim's algorithm, if you have taken, it was executing up to only n minus 1 times. If there are 4 vertices, it was executing that while loop was executing only 3 times. Here, that is not the case. We are executing one more times. Okay, n value is 4, we are executing it 5 times. So question is why? Okay, how many times this loop, is it correct or not? This condition is correct or not? Why we have given one extra iteration for this while loop? See, that is one question. And another question is these statements. While another two while conditions are there. What is the need of these two while statements? I have not explained them. So what is the need of these two while statements? So this is a question, and you have to answer it. Each one of you have to trace the algorithm. See, in the previous lab also, I have asked you to trace the algorithm and upload it to the classroom. Some of you have traced it properly, and others you have just copied it from your friends. See, when we see the answers, easily we will come to know who has copied, who has done it on their own. So today, everyone has to trace the program, and you have to write down what is the role of these two while loops here, and why this condition, why this while has to execute n plus 1 number of times. If there are 5 vertices, it will execute 6 times. Okay, these answers you have to find out, and you will simply won't get the answer in Google. Okay, if you just Google this, you will not get the answer. You have to find it on your own. You have to find it, you have to write it down. See, properly, you have to identify the reason and you have to write it down. For this program, also tracing you must do, just like in previous prims you have done. Tracing you have to do along with the screenshot of the output, or output you write it down, and tracing also you must do. After doing the tracing, you should answer these questions. Is it correct? This while condition, whatever is given here, is it correct or not? And why we have given n plus 1? Why it has to run this many number of times? And what is the role of these two while conditions here? Okay. Before, I did not even explain here, still we got the output. Okay, for that graph. So if you use that graph for tracing, you'll not get the answer. Okay, that also I'm only telling. If you use that graph, you'll not get the answer. Use some other graph and find out what is the role of these two conditions here, and this condition, is it correct or not? See, you have to find out the answer. You have to write the solution, and you have to upload it. Is it clear? Again, before today, you have to upload it before 8:30. Okay, I will not even wait till 10. I will end the classroom assignment itself. After that, it will not take the assignment itself. 8:30 is the deadline. Find out the answer and upload it. Okay. Is it clear? All of you quickly mark the attendance.
Attendance.
Okay, all of you mark the attendance and do the assignment. Upload it within 8:30. See, after 8:30, don't even bother. Okay. Simply don't upload it after 8:30. I will not even consider it. So if you are done before that, then upload it. Okay.
Upload it within 8:30 ante.
Is it clear? Okay. Thank you.